The New Yorker. Harold Ross launched The New Yorker on the 21st of February 1925, supported financially by Raoul Fleischman. The first illustration to cover the front page of The New Yorker was drawn by Ray Irvin. The monocled Regency dandy he portrayed was later dubbed Eustace Tilley and became iconic in relation to the magazine. Ross wanted to create a sophisticated magazine that could feature humor, but was also full of substance, something different to what was being sold in magazine stalls at the time. What he accomplished was a magazine that was sophisticated, intellectual, but at the same time appealed to more than one demographic. It did not take long for The New Yorker to build interest and gain a large audience. The November 28th issue of 1925 was the first issue to sell out on newsstands. Harold Ross was dedicated to The New Yorker and served as its editor-in-chief from its launch in 1925 until his death in 1951. The New Yorker has published a large number of works by a variety of different contributors and writers over the near century has been running. Currently, there are 15 contributors to The New Yorker, included David Remnick, who has been an editor since 1998 and a staff writer since 1992, Catherine Schultz, who has been a staff writer since 2015 and won the Pulitzer Prize in 2016 for featured writing, as well as a National Magazine Award for her piece, The Real Big One. John Cassidy has also been a staff writer since 1995 and covered topics such as the Iraqi oil industry. Over the years, The New Yorker has also published many works by significant writers, including, but not restricted to, Ann Beattie, Roald Dahl, Mavis Gallant, John McNulty, Alice Munro, and Stephen King. Many of these writers submitted works to The New Yorker over many decades. The New Yorker is not restrictive in the type of writing it publishes. It covers a variety of topics and genres, from poetry to essays and short stories, to cartoon comics and political satire. The overall tone of its content is sophisticated, however, much of it does have a humorous tone to it. This is not to say that it cannot publish serious work, though. Its contributors try to maintain relevance with current news or issues, however, this does not restrict them or their writing. There seems to be no restriction on the topics discussed in The New Yorker. The variety of subjects and content found within its pages is a major factor in its success. Here you can see some examples of cover pages, spreads, and cartoons. Fiction works are read within 90 days of receiving, and only if the magazine is interested in your work will they contact you. Poetry is reviewed on a rolling basis and is received through The New Yorker's own submission platform. No more than 6 poems can be submitted at once, and no more than 2 submissions per year are accepted. Cartoon submissions follow similar guidelines to poetry, however, up to 10 cartoons can be submitted at once, and submissions can be made once a month as opposed to only twice a year. Work that has been published elsewhere, even on a personal blog, will not be accepted. The article published in the July 28th issue of 2014 emulates the changes that The New Yorker has gone through in a humorous way, connecting with its readers as it discusses the achievements of Harold Ross and the necessary changes to further the magazine's success. In some ways, The New Yorker has stayed relatively traditional in its formatting and design of the magazine. However, over the past 92 years, there have obviously been technological advances, and since 2001, The New Yorker has been a part of that technological world. The website newyorker.com is easily navigated, full of colour and interesting headlines to catch your attention. The home page of the website shows you the latest articles published, a snapshot of the most popular viewed articles, its contributors, and daily cartoons and more. It's not overwhelming, it's tidy, and as mentioned in the article, has had great success since its launch with an ever-growing following. Originally, I had chosen a completely different article, but when I spotted this one late Saturday night, I had to use it. As the title suggests, David Remnick has written about the first 100 days of Trump's administration. He compares Donald Trump's smooth transition into the presidency to that of Roosevelt and Obama, who found themselves at the helm of a country that was in a national crisis, and how they dealt with the issues with discipline, knowledge, and preparation. Remnick sums up the anxiety felt by many about his presidency, comparing it to a new reality TV show. He explains how daily we find ourselves looking for news relating to his next shenanigan, and expresses that Trump was once an amusement for us, but now he's a major player in the game, causing global peril. His administration and skills as a politician are based off his apprentice persona. His initiatives are largely restricted to reversing Obama's achievements and blames national issues on the ethnic minority. Finally, Remnick compares Trump's leadership and management of the country to merely a business transaction, that Americans have placed a reckless man with little interest beyond his own at the helm of their country. As someone who isn't deeply involved in American politics, I don't understand much of how their country is run by their government. However, I found Remnick's article to be informative and easy to understand. I'm generally not someone to sit and read an article about politicians, and if I do, I often get bored quickly and move on. 100 Days of Trump was not a typical article slandering a politician that you might come across in the Telegraph or the Herald. It's informative, with information backing up what it's saying. Remnick refers to other magazines who have written about similar topics on Trump and pulls them apart. It's accompanied by comic cartoons, which keeps it light and humorous so that the article isn't drowned by seriousness. This is an example of a cartoon that was accompanied with the article. In closing, I found the New Yorker to be surprisingly interesting. I chose it assuming it was going to be some stuffy magazine for upper-class American businessmen, and I didn't expect to understand anything written in it, let alone have any genuine interest. I found it to have more freedom in its topics and genres than magazines I generally buy. It's not chock full of advertisements, and I didn't mind spending the extra money on the few issues I bought. The website is well worth visiting, and the content on it is beyond anything found in the issues sold at the news agencies. In fact, I ended up subscribing to it.